Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Nicolette Hodge, and this is We Reflect the Light. Welcome, sisters and brothers. Continuing to expound on America's economic collapse, highlighting the fact that we are stepping into the time of unprecedented trouble, sisters and brothers, which these so-called black leaders are not warning you about this time of unprecedented trouble that we're stepping into. They're not informing you about the war in the Middle East, who's going to win, how the outcome of the war will affect us, what it is that we are to expect any day now. Nor are they telling you about how this war is connected to us and the fact that we are the true seed of Abraham and that we have the history to back it up and that we are the rightful inheritors of the Abrahamic covenant. They're not giving you this information, sisters and brothers, which, by the way, this is a free gift. We don't want any money. We don't want your membership and followers, none of that. However, that's what they're asking you for. They're living off of you, sisters and brothers, sucking you dry, claiming that they have information for your salvation while leading you astray. And again, not telling you the truth about who you are and the part that you have in this, sisters and brothers. So that's why we're here, reflecting the light, informing you of who we are and what it is that is about to take place to the original nation, what it is that we're about to experience, what's about to happen in the world, which this information has been revealed through the unsealed scriptures. And only one person has broken the seven seals, which is the breaker of the seven seals, Joshua the Messiah, also the messenger of the covenant. So, sisters and brothers, with that being said, let's get into our history. The true name of our history is the Holocaust. That's our full experience right here in the hells of North America. All right, our enemy is deceiving you, sisters and brothers, about what it is that we have endured. They're calling our experience slavery. Slavery is not the fullness of our experience. It's only 1%. The other 99% is the affliction that we endured. So why is it that they're only talking about that 1% and they're not talking about the 99%? Why are they downplaying our experience? Why are they whitewashing our history, trying to erase the facts? Why is that? Because if you knew exactly what it is that you have endured, sisters and brothers, you would be looking for your reward, looking for your inheritance, looking for your payment for going through that 400-year sacrifice. You'd be looking for the nearest exit out of America. And all of our enemies, they're living off of us. So they benefit off of us not knowing the truth. That means that they keep leeching off of us, sucking us dry, and living their lavish lifestyles, living their paradise at our expense. So the Holocaust, they beat us to death. These devils boiled us alive. They took our babies from us and did unimaginable things to our own children. They raped us from the moment we took our first breath until the day that we died. They raped us and raped us and raped us and raped us, sisters and brothers. Why don't they talk about that? That's not slavery. Slavery is working someone without paying them. It doesn't include being raped. It doesn't include being tortured. It doesn't include them force feeding us shit, putting a muzzle over our mouth so that we couldn't spit it out. It doesn't include using our babies' mouths as urinals. Slavery does not include cutting our sisters open, using us as science experiments, performing C-sections, open heart surgeries with no anesthesia. That is torture. That's affliction. And they don't talk about that. So the Holocaust is our true experience. And our experience is unique. No other nation on the planet has endured what we have endured, original Black men and women. No other nation. So the scriptures is clear about our history, exactly what we would endure, for how long, and what the result of that will be. So this is the proof here that we are the true seed of Abraham. Genesis chapter 15, verse 12 through 17. And when the sun was going down, a deep sleep fell upon Abram. And lo, a horror of great darkness fell upon him. And he said unto Abram, Know of a surety that thy seed shall be sojourners in a land that is not theirs, and shall serve them, and they shall afflict them 400 years. And also that nation whom they shall serve will I judge, and afterward shall they come out with great substance. But thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Thou shalt be buried in a good old age, and in the 4th generation they shall come hither again. For the iniquity of the Amorite is not yet full. All right, sisters and brothers. Our father Abram had a vision of horror. That's exactly what we endured. And in that vision of horror, he saw that we would be sojourners. That means temporarily. On a temporary stay in a land that is not ours. Excuse me, sisters and brothers. So we are temporarily here. We are sojourning in America. And America is not our land, sisters and brothers. It shares no of a surety. So that means that this is a definite. This is a sure definite. This is not a question. This is not a might be. This is not a maybe. And what we endure. We serve these devils. So that's the enslavement. We took care of their agricultural complex, their agricultural needs. We worked the fields. We produced their fruits and vegetables, their food, took care of their cattle, built their homes, and they afflicted us. So it's clear, enslavement and affliction is two different things. Servitude and affliction is two totally different things, yet we experience both of them. So anybody telling you that we just endured slavery is a liar. Anybody telling you that America is our land is a liar. That's exactly opposite. That is against what the scriptures are telling us. And then we're given a time period for 400 years. So 400 years went from 1619 to 2019. It took 64 years to produce the first slave, the first Negro bot. So they had to get us ready to serve them. So we were brought over here in 1555. However, the 400 years did not start until 1619. 64 years to produce the first slave. And our 400 years starts with the servitude. And that servitude started in 1619. And that 64 years was a process of them stripping us of our names, stripping us of our language, breaking down our family ties, if you will, taking our children away from us, raising them, putting them in cages and raising them like animals, humiliating our men, and still raping our sisters around the clock as they tried to rape our seed out of existence. So 1619 to 2019 is the time period of the 400 years. How do we know that? How can we verify that? We don't have to guess anything. 2020 came in with a plague. It shares, and also that nation. What nation is that? Whom they shall serve. We serve the Caucasian nation. Will I judge? And afterward shall they come out with great substance. So when did the judgment start? The judgment started in 2020. 2020 came in with a plague, COVID-19, passing over those of us that have the blood of the Lamb, the original black man and woman all over the planet. COVID-19 passed over us. While COVID-19 did not pass over these devils and their black-faced children, the house Negroes, the demons, which the demons were produced from the relentless, unyielding rape of the original black woman. These devils were trying to rape our seed out of existence, sisters and brothers. They were trying to annihilate, totally destroy Abraham's seed. However, warrior queens, we did not allow them to be successful. These devils went to war against our seed while we were in the fields. And they were restricting us from multiplying, becoming impregnated by our own man. If they even suspected that we were pregnant with Abraham's seed, they would torture us and kill us. Kill our babies. And these devils were raping us all throughout the Holocaust, sowing their seed in our wombs, forcing us to produce their hybrid nation of devils in black skin, demons, half devil, half man. That's what demon means. So they have the black skin tone of their original mother, the field Negroes. However, they have the bloodline and the nature of their devil father, of Massa. And the house Negroes, which are the demons, were put over us as role models, overseers, taskmasters. They were listening in, and they would report back to Massa, getting us in trouble, snitching on us, throwing us under the bus. They afflicted us as well. That's part of the affliction, the fact that we had to give birth to a hybrid nation of our own enemies in black skin. So they don't want you to remember this, sisters and brothers. They're trying to get rid of your history. So that's why we're here, to jog your memory, so you can remember what it is that you have endured. We're back through the womb, sisters and brothers. These devils were not able to destroy us. Warrior queens, we ensured that we kept multiplying Abraham's seed so that we could be here today and receive our reward for enduring this 400-year sacrifice, so that we can come out on top of this. So our work is not in vain. That's why it's a free gift, because you have already paid the price. So that judgment started in 2020. And COVID-19 did not pass over these devils. All right? Did not pass over any of the devils, the black-faced devils or the white-faced devils. So it shares, and afterward shall they come out. Come out. Come out of this land that is not ours, that we are sojourning in. So the scripture is telling you that we're leaving America with great substance. So we're coming out with great wealth. But thou shalt go to thy fathers in peace. Again, go to thy fathers in peace. Well, our fathers is not from America. So that's another identification factor that we're leaving America. Thou should be buried in a good old age. And in the fourth generation, which is exactly what we are in right now, they shall come hither. That means here. Identifying that we are returning. They shall come hither again. So we are returning to our own land, our home, a land that we are familiar with, our original land. So part of the affliction is them having us believe that everything is a mystery. These are mysterious spooks and spirits and invisible ghosts telling us that devils are something that we can't see. A devil is something beneath the ground with a pitchfork in hell. They're telling us that hell is somewhere beneath the earth. Can't identify it, can't verify it. They're telling us that heaven is somewhere beyond the sun, moon, and stars. That cannot be verified. It's not true. They're telling us that angels is, again, an invisible being. That demons are invisible. It's a character flaw or attitude or something that has attached itself to you. Again, invisible, can't verify it. That's all part of the illusion that our enemies have put on us. The American dream itself is an illusion. It's not reality, sisters and brothers. However, the light exposes everything. The light reveals that which was once hidden or exactly. So the light exposes and reveals reality. When the light is off, you're believing in anything. When the light is on, you see exactly what's what, who's who, and can identify these things clearly. So the devils are the ones that we served, that afflicted us. America, Britain, false Israel, the Caucasian white man, skunk of the planet Earth. The demons are their black-faced children, produced through the rape of the original black woman. Hell is North America. We are in hell right now. Hell is not anything invisible. We're in hell, living through hell, surviving hell right now. And heaven is a real place as well. Heaven is the Middle East. That's why the scriptures tells us about the war in heaven. If heaven was beyond the sun, moon, and stars, then what's the point in even talking about? How could you even identify that there's a war going on or anything's happening? So understand that we got to get back in touch with reality, sisters and brothers. Now, this is the very next verse down, which none of your preachers, deacons, any so-called black leaders, the chief demon, Louis Farrakhan, who is also the product of rape. He admits that his father is a devil that raped his black mother. So Farrakhan himself is a demon. He is the chief demon. He has a black skin tone, but he has the devil's bloodline, period. Farrakhan won't speak about the very next verse, Genesis chapter 15, verse 18. In that day, God made a covenant. A covenant. That's more than a promise, sisters and brothers. That's God's sure and volatile word. And word is bond. God made a covenant with Abram. That's our father. Saying, unto thy seed. We are Abram's seed. Unto thy seed have I given this land, from the river of Egypt unto the great river, the river Euphrates. Those two rivers are not in America, sisters and brothers. So that right there. And then once you look on a map, the land that's between those two rivers is Arabia, our promised land. The Supreme Wisdom Lessons tells us that Arabia is our heavenly home. The best part of the planet Earth, which we have preserved for ourselves. Elijah Muhammad taught us that we'd be fools to stay in the land of our imprisonment. So the truth is clear, sisters and brothers. Arabia is our promised land. So as we continue identifying America's economic collapse, we have our own economics. We are promised our own land. And on top of that, we're leaving out with great wealth, that great substance. So in addition to that, we're one body, sisters and brothers. Right now, we're divided. That's part of the enemy's plan to destroy us. Part of the division is the fact that we are plagued with demons. Our nation, the original nation, is demon possessed right now. Half the blacks in America are demons. Half the blacks in America are original, sisters and brothers, are saints. However, because of that rape was so consistent and relentless, half the blacks in America are house Negroes. So that right there, we don't know who to trust. We're sheep. However, we're surrounded by wolves in sheep's clothing. So they look like us, they walk like us, however, they're not talking like us. What are they saying? They're calling us sinful. They're wishing death on us. Louis Farrakhan says that he prays to Allah, the worms eat our ass. He's calling our sisters female dogs and whores. They want reparations. Reparations nullify, if we accept reparations, that will cancel out the Abrahamic covenant. So that's exactly what our enemy wants. Us to accept, to sell out of our birthright for a measly bowl of soup. We are promised our own land. So why would we want reparations? Why would we want to stay here in the land of our imprisonment and accept 6 states of this barren, blood-soaked land? We want complete and total separation. We don't want to move next door. We want to leave the country, period. And Louis Farrakhan, him being a demon, a devil in black skin, he wants to stay right here with his devil fathers. So he's begging earnestly not to be sent out the country. He says that he doesn't want to leave America, that he loves America. So that is the demon song. That's the demon message. However, do not be deceived, sisters and brothers. We have our own vision. That reparations BS is not a vision. That is a dream. That's part of the American dream. It's a maybe. It's a wish. We have a definite. We have the Abrahamic covenant, our vision to unite under. And a people without a vision will perish. Our enemies know that. So they're blocking our vision. Got our people going in all different directions. No unity. Some people are Sunnis, some Hebrew Israelites, some are Christians. There's no vision. So how is it that we can unite if there's no vision there, sisters and brothers? However, we do have a vision. And our vision is clear. The Abrahamic covenant. Leaving America, returning home to our promised land, Arabia. Which that's what this war in the Middle East is about. The war in heaven. Which we are witnessing heaven being cleared out so that we can go take our land back. So that we can receive our land. So with that being said, sisters and brothers, I'm going to bring our next speaker in to take us further. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. It's David Hodge. All right, brothers and sisters. We have enemies everywhere. They're physical individuals. Nothing spooky, brothers and sisters. There's no spooks and spirits. Our enemies are visible. You can see them. They're here with us. Nothing that they want you to believe that like you're fighting spooks and spirits and demons and devils and stuff you can't see. No, you can see these things, brothers and sisters. And they're right here in front of you. False Israel. These individuals have stolen our identity, which that means they're claiming to be you, claiming to be us, brothers and sisters. You see? Because when the messenger started telling us who we were, that we was true seed Abraham, America and Britain, they countered our claim by putting false Israel in Palestine and claiming and declaring them as the true seed Abraham to knock our claim out the way. You see? Because it say curse those who curse God's people. That's like what they've been doing to us. So on the other side of that, bless those who bless God's people. So now they put them as God's people and blessed them. So now they're blessed. So you see how they switched the narrative? That's what they wanted to do. And now their plan is to make sure you never find out who you are. To make sure that they stay blessing you, and they justify your curse, right? That you're wicked, you're sinful, you're this, you're that, you're no good, you curse black, God curse you black. This, see, you see, now you're going to hell for eternity. And they're the ones that's putting the good word in for you, because they're connected with God. They're the spiritual seed of Abraham. They're the ones that's tied directly to God's people. You see, so they're directly connected to God, and they're so-called Jesus. See, so these individuals are blocking the information, blocking you from knowing who you are, blocking you from rising. They're stopping us from uniting, keeping you from finding out who you are, keeping you enslaved here in the land of your imprisonment, not telling you about your vision, telling you that have you participating in loving your enemies, loving this American dream, which is a dream. It's not real. So they have you pushing something that's not real. It's not, it's fake. They have, a reality that's totally 100% against you. It's tailored to your destruction. See, so if people out of vision will perish. So that's why they gave you a dream. It's not a vision. It's a dream. See, so that's enough said, right? They want you dead. They want you to perish. That's the whole point. Their agenda is to eliminate you, to literally get rid of you. That's what they've been trying to do, brothers and sisters. To get rid of their evidence of their crime, which is the crime they committed against God's people. You see? And they're rushing the clock to get rid of you. And these individuals, Satan, right, which we'll get into in a minute, false Israel, they're the ones that's blocking the information. They're the ones pushing Hollywood, pushing mainstream media, pushing all the social media and all these things that's keeping you focused on the American dream, keeping you locked and glued into it, right? So you never focus on who you are. So you never rise up. So you never unite with your brothers and your sisters. So you never find out who you are. Said the truth, I set you free. So they keep giving you lies to keep you in bondage, to keep you confused, to keep you misled, to keep you distracted, pacified with all these things that's locking you into your destruction. So they're the ones putting out the bad information. Said you know better, you do better. They make sure you don't. They're the ones giving you the bad information that's keeping you locked into this reality. They're giving it to you, and they're blasting us with it constantly, 24/7, 365, all year round. They're the ones in control of it. They're the ones in control of ruining your good reputation, telling you stereotypes, right? Well, this is what black people do. This is who they are. Niggas, you see, savages, fools, pimps, hoes, this silly people, right? Uneducated people, a bunch of dummies, a bunch of get rich hoodlums, and people that's criminals. Yeah, that's what they want you to believe about black people, that we're not intellectual or they're smart or creators. They want you to know. They don't want you to know who you really are. So they redefined who you are. You see, to destroy your image. That way, no one that you wouldn't even believe that you was a true seed of Abraham. And once they carry out their plan, which is to eliminate you, it'd be, see, all the more easier for people to not give a damn. See, because you were no good. You was a bunch of consumers. You wasn't producing nothing. You was in the way. You see, so you was just sucking up all the air, and you was just in the, no good people that didn't amount to anything. You never created anything. You don't do nothing. You see, you just sucking up all the energy. That's what they wanted to do to us. So when they destroy you, who gives a fuck? That's what they wanted. And that's exactly where they're still headed. They're headed. That's still the plan. Brothers and sisters, it has not changed. It will not change because they're trying to escape judgment. They're trying to escape what I explained to you. They're guilty of the crime that they committed on God's people. You see? Said be cursed. They committed that. They wasn't supposed to do anything. They wasn't supposed to do what they did to us, right? They told them not to, or you surely die. They did it anyway. So now it's time for judgment. You see? They're under judgment. And they're trying to escape before they're totally crushed. You see? And they're trying to keep hold to their heaven, which is this reality, which is your hell. See? You're in hell. See? They killed you. When you came here, you was killed. And now you're in hell. You see? Snatch you from where you were, took everything from you, completely dehumanized you past imaginable, did all these things to you, and brought you here. Killed you and brought you straight to hell. See? So this is our hell, which is their heaven. And that's what they want. They want to continue to keep it that way. And they're doing everything in their power to keep you blind, to keep you from finding out the truth, to keep you pushing a dream that's totally against you, and that you can never get it your way anyway. You see, keep you running around that trying to get something that's not tangible, that's not going to ever be, you know what I'm sharing. You do all these things so you can be at peace and you be happy, and you're never going to get these things, brothers and sisters. It's all a trick. It's all fake. You're never going to obtain it. It wasn't designed for you. It's designed for devils and demons. You see? And Satan, he's the one making sure that you stay locked into it. He's the one keeping that weight on you, keeping you from rising. He's the momentum keeping you down, because he's literally stolen your identity. They're stolen your identity, claiming to be you. So now everybody believes that they're them, that God chosen people. The world is structured around the idea that that's them. See? So now that's how the world functions. Everybody's functioning off that belief. And so they're being blessed. And guess what happened to you? You're being cursed. You see? No one gives a damn about you. So, but who are these individuals? Truly. Who are these individuals? You see? Because they're claiming to be something they're not. But they really are somebody. And it tells you right here in the Revelations chapters 2 and 3, verse 9, both chapters. It tells you exactly who these individuals are. False Israel. It tells you right here, I have known of you the tribulation and the poverty, but rich you are. That's talking about something else. It says right here, it says in the blasphemy. See, now it's talking about them, which is a lie, right? I told you about that good reputation. They ruin your good reputation. They're lying. It says in the blasphemy are the ones saying Jews to be themselves, and not they are, but synagogue of the Satan. It says, look, I am giving out a synagogue of the Satan of the saying themselves Jews to be, and not they are, but they are lying. Okay. So if you read between the lines and look at what's going on, I mean, it's verbatim. There's nothing to read between. It's telling you exactly who they are. It says the ones who have synagogues. Well, isn't that false Israel? Aren't they the ones who have synagogues? It says the synagogue of Satan. It says the ones saying themselves Jews to be. It says they're not. They're lying. It says that they're Satan. So it's saying the ones who claim to be Jews, right? That's them, right? They're doing that. It says they're lying. It says they're Satan. They're synagogue of the Satan. So, see, the scripture tell you exactly who they are. They're synagogue of the Satan. It says you are not Jews. You're liars. Your father is the devil. You do the works of your father. You're the synagogue of Satan. See? So this is going to be made manifest to the world. Exactly who they are. Once they are destroyed. But wait a minute, brother. What you mean destroyed? Because that's not supposed to happen either. Because it said when God placed them in their land, they're not to be uprooted or removed. Which is another indication that they're not who they claim to be. That they're imposters. It says Satan would masquerade as angel of light, claiming to be the ones putting out the good information. But they're the ones putting out the bad information, blocking the good light, the good news for our people. See? So they're pretending to be something that they're not. They're Satan. See, they're going to be exposed once this event take place, right? Boom. It tells you right here. It says, when you see Jerusalem being surrounded by armies, you will know that its desolation is near. Okay, now look into it. Jerusalem. Where you see false Israel gonna be destroyed? Well, what's the capital? Jerusalem is the capital of what? Who controls Jerusalem? Bam. False Israel. So when you read it in this proper context, when you take, now you read it again, right? It says when you see false Israel being surrounded by armies, you would know that its desolation is near. See? And what's desolation? Desolation means destruction. I mean, they're going to be destroyed. Not salvation, not redemption. Destruction. Desolation. You see? So, well, and this is going to send shockwaves through the planet. It's going to send red flags. It's going to shock. You see? It's going to send shockwaves through the planet. And send red flags. Because that's not supposed to happen. That's an abomination. That's not supposed to happen. You see? So, and during this time, it says that our people be fleeing. Because remember, I told you the momentum that's holding you down from rising up is them. So they're going to be destroyed. That means these devils can't allow that to happen. That means they're going to rush out there. They're going to attack you. And no more shooting you in the back. It's going to be up front. Right in the face. They're going to show you their true colors. They'll show you that they're really devils. And that's why I said flee, 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 flee. It tells you right here. It said, then let those who are in Judea flee to the mountains. Then let those in the city get out. And let those in the country not enter the city. For this is the time of punishment and fulfillment of all that has been written. How dreadful it will be in those days for pregnant women and nursing mothers. That's angel language. There will be a great distress in the land and wrath against this people. Talking about those devils. You see? They're the ones in trouble. Woe to them. They're in trouble. It says flee. Telling you to get the hell out of there. That they're coming to attack you. It said we in danger. We in danger. It says flee. It said don't hesitate. You'll lose your life. It said don't go back to get your baby. So during this time, you couldn't even go back to get your own child. You see? Which stamps the seriousness of this event. You can't go back to get your baby. Now, how serious is that? How serious is that? You mean tell me I'm somewhere and I gotta get going now? I gotta go. Wait a minute, how can I get my baby? No, you can't. You can't go back. You can't go back to get your baby. You'll die. Well, I gotta go get my. You get it? That means if you go back to get the baby, you die with the baby. Now you have to make an executive decision in your life to save your life. You see? Unprecedented. That's just unprecedented. It says a time like this, these things have never happened. You see? A time like this, and never will there be. A time of unprecedented trouble. You see? And that's the time we're headed in. And they're not preparing you. Then these pastors and preachers and these people that's lying to you, they're not telling you about this. It said my people are lost from the lack of knowledge. Lost from the lack of knowledge of what? From this information, brothers and sisters, that you need to flee. That you didn't have to flee if they didn't block the message, because then you have a heads up. It said take heed, but you couldn't because they was blocking the information. They was stopping you from getting information that would save your life and your family's life. That way you had to be trying to go back and get your baby. You and your baby be on the road. You see, you and your family be on the road. We already had the heads up. You see, but they put you in these positions to have to be in such a critical time that your life is on the line. It said you hesitate, you lose your life. Man, that's tough, man. And that's the situation that our people are facing. Because people that block the message, they're in the way of the message. Not only is false Israel, you have their demon children. You have people that's around you. They're not telling you about this. They're in the way. They're blocking the information. They're stopping you from receiving the good information. It said you know better, you do better. You can't get the information to do better because they're blocking it. You see? So during this time, it said be great but dreadful. You see? Because we're about to come together. Our people about to unite. We're about to get the hell out of here. We're about to slam dunk our way up out of here, right? We're about to make it happen. We're about to come together, get the good information. And we're going to rise up, be purified, get the hell out of here. You see? But the dreadful part is, a lot of our people are going to be lost in the process. So now you gotta get through that. See, now these are hurdles and obstacles that you gotta navigate, you gotta face, you gotta feel it. But now we got something for that though, you see? So now you gotta get through that. I gotta help you heal from that. You see? Gotta help you, but we give you information to heal from it. You do it yourself. See? They gotta rise up out of that. So what a twisted time, brothers and sisters. What a twisted time to be alive. And there's people that's blood. Our people's blood gonna be on their hands. And it's not gonna be forgiven. You see? We're not gonna forgive them. We're not gonna excuse them. There's gonna be no excuses. You see, they're gonna be held 100% responsible for our people's lives. You see? You said what a terrible thing for those people. Said wouldn't want to be them if their shoes were made of gold. You see? So it's not a game. It's a serious stuff. You see? And false Israel, that's why, you see? Bam! They can't allow that idea to spread. They can't let you rise up, because if you rise up, then that means that now they're in trouble. Now they're going down. Now the heaven that they had is snatched and they headed hell. And now they realize that they're cursed. So you see, that's why they're coming after you. They're going to attack you. It says flee. Okay, so with that being said, brothers and sisters, I hope this was helpful. Feel free to reach out. I will now bring in the next speaker. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. The war in heaven. Which is the war in the Middle East that we're witnessing right now. Revelations 12:7 gives us a detailed understanding of the war in heaven. An occurred war in the heaven. The Michael and the angels of him other to war with the dragon, and the dragon warred and the angels of it, and now they proved strong, not but place was found of them in the heaven. And was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil, and the Satan, the making to err, the being inhabited whole. He was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown. Sisters and brothers, the first thing shared here is that the war identifies where heaven is. This war takes place in heaven. So, letting us know that heaven is on earth. Heaven is the Middle East. So heaven is not this mystery place that is in your imagination that is somewhere in the sky and you have to die to get to. Heaven is on earth, and heaven is the Middle East. So that is what the unsealed scripture is sharing with us. Now, this war occurred in heaven. If it was in that mystery heaven that's in your mind, how would you know it occurred? How would you see it? You wouldn't be able to. You have to wait till you go to heaven. They say, oh, or get contact someone. Someone had to come back and say, oh, it's a war taking place in heaven. So, heavens on earth, that is what the scripture is sharing with us. The Middle East is heaven. That occurred war in the excuse me. And occurred war in the heaven. The Michael and the angels of him of the to war with the dragon, and the dragon warred and the angels of it. This gives the understanding of who will be at war in heaven. Michael is Master Farad Muhammad, and the angels of him are Iran and Syria. And they will go to war or be at war. They will go to war with the dragon, and the dragon warred and the angels of it. The dragon is the house of Saud, Saudi Arabia, and the angels of it are America, Britain, and false Israel. Sisters and brothers, the dragon and the angels of it are the 4 countries, 3 of them being nuclear, that has unified in an alliance against Iran. America, Britain, and false Israel has all entered toward the war against Iran, as well as the House of Saud, Saudi Arabia, and the Gulf states. So this identifies who will be at war in heaven. Now, it states, and not it proved strong, not but place was found of them yet in the heaven, and was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil, and the Satan, the making to err, the being inhabited whole. He was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown. So the war took place in heaven. You have the characters, the participants in the war. Michael, who you're not yet seen, he hasn't revealed himself. However, Michael is Master Farad Muhammad, and Iran and Syria. Now, the dragon and the angels of it, the House of Saud, Saudi Arabia, and who is the dragon, and the angels of it, America, Britain, and false Israel. It lets us know, and was thrown the dragon, the great, the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil, and the Satan, the making to err, being the being that inhabited whole. He was thrown into the earth, and the angels of him with him were thrown. So, sisters and brothers, the scripture lets us know that the dragon and the angels of it will be defeated in this war they will be thrown out of heaven, and they will be thrown into the earth, the dragon and the angels of it. And the scripture lets us know that they're not in heaven, that they've been thrown out the Middle East, because it states, and not it proved strong. Not but place was found of them yet in the heaven. So there was no place found of them in the heaven. And they did not prove to be strong enough. They were defeated and thrown out of heaven, out of the Middle East. So, sisters and brothers, from the unsealed scriptures, this is letting us know those who were participating in this war and the outcome of the war. So, sisters and brothers, from the unsealed scriptures, which is prophecy, has been given to us in detail, and shares that the dragon, the house of Saudi Arabia, America and the angels of it, America, Britain, and false Israel, it states the serpent, the archaic, the being called devil, and the Satan. And we know that America, Britain, these are the devil, and false Israel is the synagogue of the Satan. They're the rulers of this world, and they have deceived the world, deceived the whole world, and they're making to err the being inhabited whole. They are the nation that are in control of this world, and in as well as influencing the actions of the other nations of this world. So we know without a doubt that these America, Britain, and false Israel are the rulers of this reality, this world. So this is what the scripture is sharing with us, sisters and brothers. Now, sisters and brothers, the outcome of the war is going to cause an economic collapse. America, Britain, and false Israel. America and Britain will be shut off from receiving oil. And the world itself will also experience an oil shortage or oil, let's say that, or oil shortage, which will cause, which is the energy source for these countries, which provides lights, water, running water, gas for your cars, electricity. So there's other natural resources that come from the Middle East that also is needed by other country, like fertilizer, different minerals that right here in America they use to purify a part of their water purification. They use to purify, to put in the water to purify it. So the outcome of this war is going to cause an economic collapse, sisters and brothers, that is going to affect America and the world. That is going to bring this reality to a standstill. That is going to cause is going to cause the world as you know it to be snatched off and under your foot, off and under your feet. You will not be able to do your everyday normal things, and will bring famine, chaos, um, um, cannibalism, unprecedented time, sisters and brothers, is what this war is going to produce or take us into a time of uncharted, unprecedented, mean a time that never was. Because this reality is operating off of the use of oil. And the things that are used daily that gives power to many countries' systems are going to collapse, which is going to cause the whole economic system. When, sisters and brothers, when you hear economic collapse, and that's what they're speaking on, it means you will not, your whole system is going to collapse. When you go to the store, you'll be having to, it'll be so bad, sisters and brothers. It will be go to the store, maybe in the beginning, you may be able to go to the store, but going to the store, you're gonna have to fight. Murder, they're gonna be killing for food. You won't have gas to even go. Whatever you had in your tank, when you look around and you go to the gas station, there will be no gas at the gas station. So, sisters and brothers, this is the outcome of the war. This is what the war is going to cause: an economic collapse, a shortage of oil, a shortage of fertilizer, a shortage that is going to affect your way of life, sisters and brothers. Now, this war of I think that's well. This is, sisters and brothers, going to sisters and brothers, you should prepare for this collapse, for this economic collapse. At least put at least 30 days of food, 60 days of food up, food that you can eat, don't have to cook, don't have to keep, things you can eat on the move, because things you have to prepare for unprecedented times. At times like that, you to understand, you to try to gauge the mind when it states it's unprecedented. That means it tells you how serious, how severe, how bad things are going to be, like never before. Things you never seen. You're going to see cannibalism, starvation. That's um however, that's what's being shared with us, sisters and brothers. This is what the war is going to bring on the world. If you're listening, paying attention, America's not going to tell you. The news is not going to tell you. They're not going to give you the truth of what's at stake. They're not going to tell you if the war escalates, or when the war escalates and America is thrown out of the Middle East, and the dragon is the Gulf states and false Israel, when the war intensifies into the Gulf states and things are destroyed, oil fields, water desalination plants, that energy infrastructure. This is going to cause whole nations to fold, to collapse, to where they have to they won't be able to function with no water. You can't function in 115, 120 degree weather in the desert in the Middle East and you don't have any water. And as well as America's whole system runs on oil, gas. And America acts, yeah, we got gas. You don't have any diesel. You don't have any jet fuel. You don't have any. They can't make diesel, jet fuel. They can't make kerosene. Those. So, sisters and brothers, this is what the unsealed scriptures shares that is going to take place. This is prophecy being shared with you. So, prophecy is sharing with you what is going to happen before it happens so that we will be prepared for what is coming. So, sisters and brothers, with that, I'm going to pass or end it here and pass it to the next speaker who will take us further. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum, sisters and brothers. I'm Fatima Hodge. Today I'm going to be reading out of the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 26. It reads, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. All right, sisters and brothers, this scripture here is identifying the condition of how people are going to react to viewing what's about to take place over there in false Israel. It shared men's hearts failing them for fear. That means their hearts are going to be failing from fear, sisters and brothers, for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. So we know this is identifying when false Israel is in fact at war. And this is identifying the time before false Israel is taken out, right? So just the idea of knowing what's about to take place is going to cause men's hearts to fail from fear, sisters and brothers. Which is why we are here giving you the only light that you will receive, sisters and brothers, which is the Injil. Because we have to understand how serious the time is that's approaching us. And it should men's hearts be failing them from fear just thinking about what's about to happen here. So that should give you an idea of what's going to happen when this event actually takes place, sisters and brothers, and false Israel goes down. A total, sisters and brothers, a total economic collapse. Right here in America, sisters and brothers. America needs fuel to keep their society going, right? There's going to be a famine of all things, including that, which brings America to a total economic collapse, sisters and brothers. You need oil for your cars, your trucks. You need oil for your machines. You need oil for your weapons. You need oil for your heat. Everything in this reality is based off of that oil, sisters and brothers. And we will no longer have that. And this is why they identify this time as unprecedented. Because America has never went without, sisters and brothers. This has never happened before. So we have to understand the meaning of that. Unprecedented times. It's going to be a famine of food, no water, no clean water, sisters and brothers. They've never gone without food. A famine of medical necessities that you need. And a lot of people are living off of, sisters and brothers. Unprecedented times is what's approaching us. We're in an unprecedented situation. We have to understand that not just the time will be unprecedented, sisters and brothers, our thoughts will be unprecedented. Things that we're going to be doing is unprecedented. Because we're going to be in a time that we have never experienced before. So we're going to be thinking totally different. America has never gone without food. Never gone without food, sisters and brothers. And the scriptures highlight that, there'll be a famine, right? And not only that, it tells us that there's going to be cannibalism taking place during this time as well, sisters and brothers. And we're right here in America. The black man and woman. This is why it is very important for our nation to understand their vision, which is the Abrahamic covenant. Because that, we have to understand that through your vision and through the Son of Man coming, giving us the Injil, which is in fact our minds, sisters and brothers. The Injil. That's the data that you're going to have to be successful in the spring. And right now, we're operating off of the data that these devils have given us. Which is an attempt to destroy our nation, having us thinking things are spooks, spirits. So like I shared, sisters and brothers, we have to understand that the data that you're going to need to be successful in the time that's approaching us is, in fact, the Injil, sisters and brothers, which is, in fact, Revelations. It's a map that you will need to get out of here, right? On top of applying your nature, sisters and brothers, which is in fact the 5 mathematical pillars of Islam. That is your nature, sisters and brothers. This is you have to understand that during this time, it shared that when false Israel goes down, that our nation needs to flee. Right? Say flee. And the scriptures highlighting the fact that you shouldn't turn back. Even if you left your child behind, you cannot go back, or you'll surely die, sisters and brothers. So like I shared, not only is it unprecedented times, you're going to be doing unprecedented things in order to survive during this time. And we have to understand that during this time, not only we will come together, our nation, but the demons will unite as well, and they look like us. But what's coming out of their mouths is something totally different. They want to stay here in America, take over America. Sisters and brothers, they don't want to go anywhere. That is the vision of the demons. And your vision, sisters and brothers, is the Abrahamic covenant. And that is what we will unite under, which is the Abrahamic covenant, sisters and brothers. Complete separation. 5 mathematical pillars of Islam, which is going to bring us together, sisters and brothers, as one body, because that's exactly what we are, one body. And these devils has taught us to be separated. Separate your body. But that, destroys our power. Because when we come together as one body, sisters and brothers, that's when we're powerful. Right? Because we are one body. And each part of that body matters. Without one, we're nothing, right? We need all parts to function properly. And during this time, our unity, us coming together and functioning as that one body, is what's going to protect us during this time of unprecedented trouble that's approaching us, sisters and brothers. Now, we're going to get into what the scriptures identify that you will, in fact, see during this time of the apocalypse. Sisters and brothers. Now, understand that the apocalypse is it's the original name of Revelations. They changed to Revelations, which is also Injil, sisters and brothers. So, the scriptures highlights different events that you will witness during the apocalypse. It's coming right here to America. And it highlights cannibalism, sisters and brothers. Like I said, people are going to be doing unprecedented things. And this scripture here identifies one of those. It shares right here in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 57. Her placenta which comes out from between her feet, and her children whom she bears. For she will eat them secretly for the lack of everything in the siege, in desperate straits, in which your enemy shall distress you at all your gates. So this is telling you that a woman will eats the children whom she bears. And the placenta which comes from between her, meaning she's pregnant. She has placenta, she's going to be eating her own baby. Now, if that's not unprecedented, then what is? We're never witnessing anything like this. But these are things you will be witnessing, sisters and brothers, during this time. This is also highlighted at the time of the sisters and brothers, the tribulations that our nation has to experience. And it says experience is the best teacher, right? Who's going to take our nation to experience a time like no other for us to come together, right? And rise as that mighty nation, as the scripture highlights, right? And through the tribulations, this is what we will be witnessing. It shares, and I will cause them to eat the flesh of their sons and the flesh of their daughters, and everyone shall eat the flesh of his friend in the siege, and in the desperation in which their enemies and those who seek their lives shall drive them to despair. Sisters and brothers, it said that people eating the flesh of their own sons and the flesh of their own daughters. They'll be eating their friends, sisters and brothers, their family. So you're going to be witnessing these devils in their true light during this time. Right now, they act as if they're angels, but they're not, sisters and brothers. They're devils, and they are, in fact, your open enemies. And we can tell you all day what these devils have done to our nation, but nothing's going to hit worse than you experiencing and witnessing these devils in full action, like you will be witnessing them in the tribulations. This is what's coming to America, sisters and brothers. And before they attack their own, they are going to be attacking us, sisters and brothers, all blacks. Which is why it's very important for you to understand and know what your vision is. So you are going down the right path, sisters and brothers. Because during this time, you're going to have to unite with the right group of blacks, right? Because as I shared, the demons will unite. We will also unite. So, sisters and brothers, we will be uniting under the Abrahamic covenant. You know, they put us in a constitution that's 3/5 of a human, all to make sure during this time they will be able to classify us as food to eat. But like I shared, we're going into a new season, sisters and brothers. In the Injil is the data for the new season, the light of the new season, which is the spring, the light that comes with the spring, the sun, right? As we have the Son of Man, who has given us the true meaning of the scriptures, unlock the seals of Revelations, right? To give us our minds back. And that is, in fact, the Injil, the data that you will have to upload in order to move forward into the next reality, which is the spring. Coming out of the worst winter ever into the spring. And they will be attempting to attack us with all their winter weapons, sisters and brothers. But the scripture highlights that no weapon formed against you will prosper. And that should tell you why they won't prosper, because they will be, in fact, winter weapons. And they're trying to use winter weapons in the spring. And they won't work, sisters and brothers. So everything they try to do to us will fail. So as I shared, we're approaching a time like no other, which unprecedented time, sisters and brothers. And us coming together, uniting under one body, one vision, and shall we do exploits, shall we will rise as a mighty nation. That's exactly what will take place, sisters and brothers. And without the messenger of the covenant, we wouldn't have the message about the covenant, sisters and brothers. We wouldn't have the Injil, which is the data that we need to be successful. The Son of Man all right, sisters and brothers, with that, we'll be back with more. Assalamu alaikum.